maithí as bheith Seanad. You're all very, very welcome, and thank you so much. I'm really thrilled and delighted to see so many of you here. Córda, Clán, agus Cóghlacithe, friends, family, colleagues, past and present. It's really such an absolute honour and delight that you've been here. But I would like to welcome my two guest speakers and my two nominators, who I'm really just thrilled agreed to nominate me to run for the Dublin University Seanad position. In this election, two people whom I've known for many, many years and have worked with on very different work, and I think in many ways capture exactly why I've wanted to run for this position. I worked with Ivana Bacik for 4 years in the Seanad, and it was an absolute privilege to work with her on so many different campaigns, and in particular on I suppose learning so much about the ins and outs of the legislative procedure, and really such a privilege to always work with you, in particular on Vote Hall 100 and on repeal, but also just seeing the ins and outs of how the Seanad works.
First of all, huge thanks to Ursula for inviting me to speak tonight. I'm really honoured and delighted to have been asked to speak at this campaign launch. And I'm just so thrilled that Ursula is running for the Seanad election. Those of you who know Ursula as I do will know that she's somebody who fires on all cylinders, on many, many cylinders. She has she has done so much, she's achieved so much, and yet she's still so young. So I'm really proud of my long association with you, Ursula, and I'm delighted to be here tonight and also to be one of your nominators, of course, along with David and so many others. So I've known Ursula through her various different lives from Trinity, and indeed through her political activism. And in Trinity, as you will all know, she was of course a really great auditor of the HIST, one of far too few women auditors of the HIST during her time as a student, and then of course went on to run with David the HIST 250 events, the wonderful celebrations that seem in hindsight particularly wonderful because they took place in March 2020. And so when you think of a big dining hall in Trinity crowded with an amazing lineup of people, you'll know exactly why the memories of that 250 event are just so great. So Ursula worked so hard with me, and it was such a privilege for me to have Ursula work with me. And of course I also worked with her on lots of campaigns, on political campaigns on repeal in 2018, and I knew of her great activism on marriage equality in 2015. But she has so many other activist campaigns to her credit on the Irish language, but also on culture, on theatre, on literature. Ursula puts me to shame because she's always seen the latest plays, read the latest books, and knows everything about any cultural happenings. And of course she's a proud European and a really wonderful European activist, particularly through her work with the Institute of European Affairs and her work there in the really bringing European issues and European debates to a younger audience, which is crucial. So look, I think Ursula without a doubt would make an incredible asset in the Seanad. She would be such a strong contributor on so many different fronts. We need more women in the Seanad, but we also need more progressive young women in the Seanad, and Ursula would really be an incredible representative for graduates of Trinity College Dublin, of Dublin University, and I'm just so proud to be here tonight and to nominate her.
To equality, to fairness, to decency, to generosity. And above all, I want to mention something special about Ursula. I think she has enormous courage. She has the courage of her convictions, and once she decides that there's something that is worthwhile doing, she's going to pursue that, and she'll pursue it tenaciously in the Seanad. So she is in that tradition of Skeffington, and Mary Robinson, and Mary Henry, and Ivana Bacik. So I would urge you all, work your socks off, write letters, contact your friends, get together the mailing list, and make sure that Ursula is elected as a Trinity Senator.